If you walked into a bank today and they offered to double your money, the first question out of your mouth shouldn't be, "Where do I sign?" Time is the invisible variable that makes or breaks your entire financial life. Most people think calculating compound interest requires a spreadsheet, a specialized calculator, or a degree in finance. But it doesn't. There is a single number, a specific, slightly strange integer that unlocks the entire timeline of your wealth. That number is 72. If you divide 72 by your interest rate, you know exactly how many years it takes for your capital to double. It sounds like a parlor trick, but it is actually one of the most robust tools for cutting through marketing noise. Whether you are looking at an investment, a savings account, or a credit card debt, this rule tells you the truth about speed. I realized a long time ago that most investors are flying blind. They see a 7% return, and they think that sounds okay. But they don't intuitively know what 7% actually means for their retirement date. Does it mean you retire in 10 years or 30? The gap between those two numbers is your entire life. Today, I am going to walk you through the Rule of 72. We are going to look at the math behind it, why it works, and how to use it to measure investment growth. But more importantly, I am going to show you the dark side of this rule. How it predicts the destruction of your purchasing power through inflation and the explosion of your liabilities through debt. If you enjoy deep dives into the mechanics of money without the hype, do me a favor and subscribe. It is the best return on investment for your time that I can offer.
Let's get into the numbers. Let's start at the number. Whoa!
Here is the problem with the human brain. It is terrible at exponential growth. We are linear creatures. If you take 30 linear steps, you cross the street. If you take 30 exponential steps, you circle the Earth 26 times. We just cannot visualize it. When a financial advisor tells you that your portfolio will grow at 8% a year, your brain interprets that as a slow, steady, straight line upward. But compound interest is a curve, and curves are deceptive. They start slow, barely moving, and then suddenly shoot vertical. Because we lack the intuition for this, we tend to make terrible decisions. We delay investing because the early results look boring. Or we ignore a 3% fee because 3 sounds like a small number. We need a translation layer. We need a way to turn percentages into time. That is where the Rule of 72 comes in. It converts abstract rates into concrete years. It answers the question, when do I get twice as much money as I have today? The formula is deceptively simple. You take the number 72 and you divide it by your annual rate of return. The result is the number of years it takes to double your money. Let's run a few scenarios so you can feel how this works. If you find a high-yield savings account paying 4%, you take 72 and divide it by 4. No, it's too late. The time is now. It will take 18 years for your money to double in that account.
Now let's look at ambient. Now let's look at the stock market.
Historically, the S&P 500 has returned roughly 10% nominally over long periods.
72 divided by 10 is 7.2.
That means every 7.2 years, your portfolio should theoretically double. Compare those two timelines. In the savings account, you wait nearly 2 decades for one double. In the market, you get almost 3 doubling periods in the same amount of time. That is the difference between having $20,000 and having $80,000, just based on the doubling speed. Now you might be asking, why 72? Why not 100 or 50? It's not magic. It's a mathematical coincidence involving natural logarithms. To find the exact doubling time, you use the natural log of 2, which is approximately 0.693. In a perfect mathematical world, we would use the rule of 69.3. But try dividing 69.3 by 7 or 8 in your head while you're standing in line at the grocery store. It's a nightmare. The number 72 is chosen because it is close enough to 69.3 to be accurate, but it is also a highly composite number. It has so many factors. You can divide 72 cleanly by 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 12. This makes it the ultimate mental shortcut. It's an engineer's approximation designed for the real world. Is it perfect? No. But it gets you within a few months of the correct answer for most typical investment returns. Which is all you need for a gut check. So, doubling your money sounds great. We all love to calculate how rich we're going to be. But there is a trap here. Most people use the rule of 72 to fantasize about their future wealth. But they forget to use it to calculate their current poverty. The same math that grows your assets is currently working 24 hours a day to destroy them. I'm talking about the invisible tax that no one votes for, but everyone pays. Inflation. And if you think a little bit of inflation doesn't matter, you need to run the number 72 in reverse right now. Now, let's look at what happens when inflation spikes, like we have seen in recent economic cycles. If inflation hits 6%, take 72 divided by 6.
That is 12 years. Is 12 thus dried?
Oh. In just 12 years, your money is worth half. If you are saving for a house down payment in cash and inflation is 6%, the target isn't just moving away from you, it is sprinting. This is why the safe option of keeping money under the mattress is actually the risky option. In a high inflation environment, cash is a guaranteed loss. The rule of 72 exposes this mercilessly. It forces you to realize that if your investments aren't generating a return higher than the inflation rate, you aren't actually standing still. You are moving backward, and the rule tells you exactly how fast you are falling. The psychology here is dangerous because the erosion is slow enough to ignore on a daily basis. It's the boiling frog experiment. You don't notice the price of bread going up 5 cents at a time until you look back 10 years later and realize your grocery bill has doubled. By using the rule of 72, you bring that future pain into the present. You realize that safety has a cost. When you keep $50,000 in a checking account earning 0%, you aren't preserving capital. You are effectively paying a subscription fee to inflation to hold that money. If inflation is 4%, you are paying a 4% wealth tax. The rule of 72 converts that percentage into a timeline. In 18 years, this money is half gone. That visceral realization is usually enough to wake people up and get them to invest. So, what is the protocol? You have to view your hurdle rate as the inflation rate. If inflation is 3%, your investments must return 3% just to break even. Anything above that is your real return. If you earn 7% in the market and inflation is 3%, your real return is 4%. Now, use the rule of 72 on that real return. 72 divided by 4 is 18. 18. It takes 18 years to double your purchasing power, not just the number on the screen. This is the only way to plan honestly. Stop looking at nominal returns, look at real returns. It's a tougher standard, but it's the only one that matters when you're actually trying to buy groceries in 20 years. The Rule of 72 is a powerful tool for understanding and managing your financial future. It helps you cut through the noise and focus on what truly matters.